2x2 formation. Race change now, we go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action is go.
This is very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in, this has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill, they head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, putting that truck inside line. Yes, oh, he did. Through he goes.
Well, good evening everyone, welcome along to this round 2 of the GT3 series here with Apex Online Racing. This is round 2, this is tier 2. I do apologise obviously for last week if anyone was tuning in hoping to see it, and there was some technical difficulties on my end and I was not able actually to do the stream, but this is it. So first broadcasted round of this series for tier 2 is actually going to be round 2 here at the wonderful Zandvoort. And it's a mixed weather track. If anything, Tier 1 showed us last night how the weather can play a massive part in strategy, so it'll be very interesting to see how things go. So jumped in a little bit earlier than normal just to go through the results from last time round. Obviously, with us being at COTA, all the way over in America last week, and now over in the lovely Netherlands. So let's have a quick run through the top 10 from last week, and also this is obviously the top 10 of the championship at the moment as it stands, with only one race under their belt. So coming home first was Jonathan Clifford in first position. Then we've got Zabin in second place. Matt York, or Yorkie, glad to see him back, coming home in third place in the Bentley of all things. Then we have Nathaniel Shirley in the Aston Martin in fourth place. Brower in fifth position. Cotsford in 6th place. Mr. Jones in 7th. Coming home in 8th was, oh, this is a new name for us actually, is Nunia. And then in 9th place we have Florent, and rounding out the top 10 is Brugnara. Do apologise, first time pronouncing that name actually. So yes, welcome along. Again, this is Apex Online Racing Sprint Cup Series. This is going to be a 60-minute race with one mandatory pit stop. Tyre changing is mandatory, but no fueling is allowed. Got a decent old set of races in front of us, to be fair. Let's have a quick look at the calendar and let you know what's coming up. So last week was Circuit of the Americas. This week is Zandvoort. And so the next week we actually have another race, and I believe that is, yeah, it's a 90-minute long race. It's one of our sort of mini endurance races. And that is at Mazzano, then followed by Silverstone the week after. Zolder coming up again, Kyalami later in the season, and then rounding out the championship at the home of motorsport across Europe, and that is going to be at Monza. So lots of turn 1 action I think we're going to see at the end of the season. Hopefully there won't be too many grudges built up by that point, but lots and lots of time for people to learn what they're up to, lots and lots of time for people to build up those grudges and see how it all goes. Fingers crossed everyone stays nice and friendly, usually do here with Apex Online Racing. So here in Tier 2 and all across the rest of the tiers, there is no live stewarding. It is all done after the fact. So anyone that has an incident has to report it and put in, and then it will be decided afterwards. So there will be no live stewarding. So any penalties you see appear in-game are all in-game created. So that will be things such as track cuts, speeding in the pit lane, and other such things. But for now, with about 2 minutes left of first practice, so with some reasonably wet weather out there, and the track is still damp, there's no more rain falling, but the track is definitely moist. I think the best time we have seen all throughout this has been by Sandro Van Sand with a 1:35.8 that we saw get put in. That is a massive, massive time. Really good time to put in. And as we're coming towards the end of first practice, more and more cars coming into the pits, getting ready, setting their cars up for qualification. Obviously this season again brought to you by SIMSOK. Amazing sim driving socks, got little grippy bits on the bottom, a bit like what you'd wear to a trampoline park, but designed for sim racing. And that is what the prize is here. It's all community based Apex Online Racing. There is no big prize pot, there is no sort of name on the wall somewhere. It is all to do with winning a pair of socks, and everyone trying to climb that ladder to get into the Mondays Tier 1 tier. Yeah, and a couple of our big names from last year have got, last season, sorry, have gone up into Tier 1, so it's a great stepping stone. And there is a lot of new names here this evening. An absolutely stacked field as well. I think how many cars have we got on track at the moment? Got a whopping 39 cars out there, so it is a very, very full track. It's going to be a very exciting first couple of laps, I think. And of course, the other main sponsor this evening is Driver 61, offering tutoring and setups. All the links to all these bits and pieces are all found in our description under this video, and a link to our Discord as well. So, yeah, really nice community. Everyone's very helpful, and luckily, because obviously we have up to 10 different tiers all running at the same time. Doesn't matter if you're a little bit slow, much like me, or you're an absolutely fast alien like the guys up in Tier 1 and Tier 2, there is always racing here for you. There is somebody you can race with. Even someone like myself who doesn't get a great amount of time to do practicing, but I could jump on, set a lap time. I think I was in Tier 9 last time I did the qualifying, which, as you might be surprised to know, they're all running at the same time as this Tier 2 race. I never actually get to do the racing. I could do all the qualifying and all the setups and stuff, but I never actually get to do the racing because it would very much stop me from doing this, and I very much like doing this and bringing this to everyone at home. So fingers crossed, if you're watching this live or you're watching back on the video on demand, I do hope that everyone enjoys the broadcast. And obviously let me know in the chat. I'll do my very best to keep an eye on it as we go through the broadcast. But yeah, let me know in the chat if there's anyone in particular you would like to see up on the stream. Usually try and get a bit of a mixture of everybody up on screen as best as possible. But usually try and keep an eye on the action as well. But if there is someone who isn't necessarily in the midst of the action, but you would like to see up on the main screen, do give me a shout and I will do my very best to make sure we get it up there. So practice is over. This is just a couple of the drivers. We've got 2 minutes left to just finish and come into the pit. So here we go. This is Mr. Jones coming in. And here we go. Right, we are pushing forward into the next round, which is qualifying. Who is our first driver out on track? It's looking like car number 189, which is our Larvae. Yes, it is in the blue on blue McLaren for KW ADI Racing. So at the moment it is damp, no sign of any rain coming. So it should be a reasonably, I say dry qualifying, but it's going to probably be a case of the laps will get better and better as time goes on, as the track gets more temperature, the dry line starts to appear. As we said, only damp at the moment. Oh, but very, very slidey. And our Larvae really has carved himself out a nice little chunk of ground here. Really pulled away from the rest of the pack. Obviously still only qualifying, so Everyone will spread out slightly, but lovely amount of room to play with. Pushing quite hard for an outlap, to be fair. Possibly trying to get some temperature into the brakes. But we will stick with this driver for now, and we will try and go on board as they actually do their first flying lap. Hopefully it won't be cursed to the commentator. Now coming up towards the final turn, and we will see if we can get on the dash cam for this car as they start their first flying lap. Oh no, and immediately comes into the pit, so obviously not happy with the setup. So actually the first car out there is the first car to come into the pit, so I think it's going to be car number 29 who is our next sort of first car out. I might be wrong on that one, it might actually be the car just behind them, which is... Yes, I believe it's car number 12. It's actually our first car out there. So this is Oliver Brenneur. Just jump on the helicam, get an idea of what this circuit looks like. As you can see, it's not very wide. Technically, there's room for probably 3 cars here, but realistically, even just making an overtake here at Zandvoort, highly difficult. Unless you've got something with an absolutely monstrous amount of grunt that can make the most of it on that pit straight. It really does come down to outbraking your competitors. And obviously this is only the second time they have been out. So not everyone knows everyone's driving styles yet. Sometimes it can take a few races to really get into it. George Morgan, good evening. I see you in the chat. Good to see that you're hype and ready. Backing out of this lap, I'm pretty sure. That looked like a fairly slow time there. Possibly gearing themselves up for a fast run. Right, so this is going to be the first lap time I think we're going to see on the board. No, that didn't come through as a flying lap, so no flying laps yet have come in. Here we go. So Matt York actually was our first driver out there to set the time. And a couple more rolling in now. Let's jump on board with the provisional pole sitter at the moment. With only 1 lap under their belt. This is Cody Cosford. Driving for R Motorsport. That lovely Aston Martin. Obviously we saw an Aston Martin on the podium last night, so we know this car can do well. Lap time starting to roll in now. In fact, let's have a jump on the dash of this one, shall we? It's absolutely throwing it through sector 2 on the brakes in these flowing corners. The Aston able to take those curbs nice and easily. Oh, and he says that and he gets a load of opposite lock. And I think that's the end of that flying lap. He'll try and recompose himself, maybe have a little breather and let those tyres cool. That was a huge slide. So going forward, okay, little change at the top as well. So we have car number 25, one of the Lamborghinis currently in pole position. This appears to be G League Esports Elite. Wonderful sounding car, and it's really nice again to see so many different cars here in the championship. Obviously we've seen it in previous seasons where it becomes a bit dominated by 1 or 2 brands only. It's really nice to see so many different brands, and that is all thanks to the custom BOP, or balance of performance. We're using a ballast system, so cars that are a little bit too quick compared to the rest, added a bit of ballast to them, slowed them down just a little bit. And seeing what happens at times, still rolling in at the moment. So actually now it's Nathaniel Shirley in pole position. Just coming through turns 3. End of sector 1. He's got a little bit of traffic in front of him, that McLaren. Driving that in-game livery, the Beach Dean AMR livery. Like I say, it's real nice to see a bit of a revival of cars coming through. I mean, and amazing to see that there's actually multiple Bentleys here this evening. It's fantastic. I think these two, there's DOR and Matt York, both running the Bentleys, so really, really exciting to see those cars back. Here we go, another round of times have come in. And it is Van Sand again taking pole position. Just under 8 minutes left of qualifying. It's a lovely looking livery on that car, to be fair. Look at that. Oh, gold and black, kind of a 93. There's a Thomas Eng Sim Racing. I do wonder if that is a little bit of possibly a Thomas the Tank Engine mention. Well, I'm sure someone in the chat will tell me no, that they're a very famous sim racer and I'm just completely oblivious to it. And I do apologise for that if that is the case. Ah, there we go. Here's a name from last season that we definitely know. Car number 47, Kuchowski. An AOR veteran at this point. Again, the track gone up to greasy now, so times are going to keep rolling in. It does make sense to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And to be fair, Van Sand up by 6 points of a second. Sorry, 0.6 of a second. I do apologise, the words all came out completely wrong then. And that top three really wobbling and going all over the place. Incredibly close times as well here this evening. Absolutely incredible timings. So Van Sand is going to improve big time on this. It was a 137. Oh, there we go. And it's now a 137 flat. Oh, no, sorry. That's a 136.4. It's now come through as the timing board having a little bit of a wobble there. So massive, massive improvements. Having a little bit of a look across the board. Seeing if anyone else is on big gains. We've got Jens Nilsson. So was running in 31st place and is now going to be running in 3rd place. Oh, that is a massive, massive gain. Stuart McLeod as well. Let's jump on board with them. Currently 0.9 up on their lap. And whereabouts on the circuit are they? Just coming up towards the penultimate turn. So this could be a massive improvement for them as well. Currently running in 36th place. This should see a fairly big old gain if they can keep this together as well. Coming up towards the line, still 0.9 up, a whole second up on their time now. Up into 7th place, massive, massive jump. Another driver on a huge lap here. Car number 33, Kaz Lucas. In the car that's 123 team name. Another great livery on that car. Coming up towards the line, 0.9 up on their lap. So it was 38th, now going to be jumping up to 10th place. And again, another driver coming towards the end of the lap with over a second improvement. This is car number 25, another Lamborghini. So it was 32nd, sorry, 33rd, now up into 3rd place. Huge improvement. And they've still got just over 4.5 minutes of qualifying left, so there is still plenty of time for people to put in absolutely fantastic laps. Anyone near the top making big moves? Okay, we got this is Jacob Blizzard currently coming through sector 1. He is 0.3 up on his lap times. Let's keep a little bit of an eye on this guy, see how they come through the rest of the lap. Our 2nd place driver Florence as well, 0.2 up on their times. The track has now gone green. We're getting closer and closer to a bit of proper grippy surface out there. I'm going to stick with Blizzard for now. Still 0.5 up on his lap. Well, Jonathan Clifford as well on a massive, massive lap, 0.7 up. So Blizzard puts himself on pole with that lap time. We're going to jump aboard with Clifford, who's 0.8 of a second up as he crosses the line. Where is that going to see him? Up into third place. It's a big jump for Clifford. Just seeing a bit of a shout out in the chat for Clifford as well, so we'll be very pleased to see that one. Benjamin King is a driver on an absolute flyer, and he's in the Mercedes, so he gets double points from me. Bit of a Mercedes stan when it comes to GT3 racing, whether it be esports or real life. So great to see a Mercedes here in Tier 2. Benjamin King. Where are we looking time-wise? He is 0.8 up on his time, so that's a really good improvement. If he can do that, then that is going to be an absolutely gargantuan gain for him. Currently running in 11th place, so just outside the top 10, but with 2 corners left to go, still 0.8 up. That Mercedes is going to be a bit of a rocket ship in a straight line, I would presume. A great big V8 in the front, thundering along. Was in 12th as he comes across the line. What are we going to see? Up into first place. So it's now a Mercedes in pole position with 2 minutes 30 seconds left of qualifying. Someone else on an absolute fire now. Currently running in 31st place is Hex. Thomas Moberg, and then running racing for Hex. And which team is that? Hexagon Nation. So we'll actually go with Moberg. I think Hex is obviously the team name that is added on to the end of his gamer tag, as it were. 2 corners left to go. And again, he is 0.9 up. I'll put that second up on his lap time. That McLaren sticking to the floor as it flies towards the line. So he was in 34th place as he comes across the line. Where are we going to see him now? Up into 5th. Everybody across the board improving. And to be fair, Moberg on an improvement as well already. So drivers up inside the top 10. What are we seeing? So we've got Clifford, who is on a flyer. He's slightly up on his delta. Not massively, but a little bit up. But he is being hounded by the Porsche from behind. Obviously, they're not racing, but it is very unsettling having a car in front and behind you that's pushing hard as well. You don't want any incidents. Very easy to cause yourself to brake a bit late. But it was our pole sitter for a little while. Sandro Van Sand, who was on an absolute flyer a minute ago, but I think has just lost a load of time. Or I'm on the wrong car here. I'm on the wrong car here because it has changed. His position changed, and he's up into 2nd place. The timing screen changed just as I clicked. So yes, Van Sand was on a flyer indeed, up into 2nd place in that sort of yellowy gold coloured McLaren. Oh, here we go. Varignolo in another gold coloured. This is the McLaren. I think this may be teammates, because that is the same team. I mean, that's the same team that they were racing, so fantastic to see that. I would explain the very, very similar colours. 0.4 up on the lap time. Amazing to see such a massive change of results compared to last week. You sort of look at our finishers, Jonathan Clifford, Zerbin and Matt York. I mean, where are we looking around? The first one we come across is Clifford running all the way down in 7th place. Here we go to here. Where is... Oh, there we go. It's a pole position. And this is going to be everyone's final lap, pretty much. Unless they're going to cross the line now, then that is it. No more chances. This is everyone's final chance to do anything. Van Sand is on such a flying lap. He is 0.2 up on his lap time. Currently running in 3rd place, but this could be an improvement. And obviously, Varignolo is going to get one more chance to put in a lap if they can improve. And Van Sand takes it away. That was his final lap, so he does actually take pole position away from his teammate. But that'll be a very, very strong start to the season, won't it, if they can hang on to that. Jonathan Clifford, currently running in 11th place, our winner from last week, currently in Sector 2 at the moment. And Benjamin King is all but done, and he's in the pits as well, so he's going to have to hope and pray that no one beats him as he's running in 3rd place at the moment. We'll stick with Clifford, the current championship leader. 2 corners left to go. We'll see what kind of things he can produce. It doesn't appear that they are on a fast time. A couple of people further down the grid on some big improvements. I'll have to wait and see what everything happens. Jonathan Clifford coming across the line. Provisional 14th place as they cross the line. So big, big time. I believe that is the end of that session. Here we go. Apologies about a little bit of extra on-screen stuff. We are now going to be saving all the replays in the hopes that we are going to be able to get some sort of post-race highlights put together for you, which will be very, very nice to see. So fingers crossed that all goes to plan. And I did have a button mapped to make it save it, but for whatever reason, it's not doing that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. So a little bit of a wait until the race actually starts. Just about 3 3/4 minutes to go. So let's have a little run through the grid as it stands. So a bit of a jump. See if we can get a nice view. Can we get a nice view of all these cars? Let's see if we can get a better shot. It's a little bit better, isn't it? So first place is Van Sant. Second place is Varagnolo. Third place is Zerbin. They'd be very pleased with that. Obviously came second in the first race of the season. Benjamin King, fourth place. Casas Lucas in fifth position. This is Durin in sixth position. Austin coming in seventh. James Cowley in eighth place. Oh, this is a new name for us as well. Tio running in ninth position. Fernandez running in 10th. Kachowski in 11th. Jacob Blizzard in 12th position. DOR or Door in 13th. Brugnara in 14th place. Tom Bort in 15th place. 16th is Jonathan Clifford. He'll be very disappointed with that after coming first at Kota. Not what he would have wanted. Paulo Lima in 17th place. Oh, hello. I think we've got two of the same name in here. No, we don't. I've just gone insane. Brugnara, 18th place. Eamon in 19th place. Florent down in 20th place. Brenu in 21st place. De Brouwer in 22nd place. Tobias Moberg down in 23rd. Cody Cosford in 24th place. Nathaniel Shirley down in 25th. 26th is Dellenbach. Matt York, who came third home last time, and down all the way down in 27th place. Obviously, this track not favouring the Bentley quite so much. Siopis in 28th place. Renier in 29th. Oh, this is a new name I haven't seen as well. Kovovic, I believe that is pronounced. I do apologise if I have butchered that one. In 30th place. So outside of the top 30, we've got Jens Nilsson, 31st place. Christian Romano, and I know him from the commentary box. Absolutely fantastic. There we go, just been told. Apparently that name is pronounced Geirin, or Geirin. So I'll make sure I try and work on that as best I can. Tadic, at 31st place. Mr. Jones, 34th. 35th is Syme. Bart Raven, 36th place. Luca Ziege, all the way down in 37th. Robert Arlavi, 38th. Zonabini in 39th. And rounding out the full grid is Stuart McLeod in 40th place. Good Lord, there's a lot of drivers to try and keep an eye on this evening. I apologise if we miss a little bit of the action. Do feel free to bang on in the chat if I've missed something. We'll try and go back and do replays as and when we can. But this is sort of, winding up for it now. This is getting towards the beginning of it all. And we'll see how it all goes for everyone out there this evening. Fingers crossed it all goes to plan for everyone. And I always forget how mightily quiet it is pre-race. The sort of moment where you just sat waiting. Oh, here we go. Look, there is the first sign of rain coming in half an hour into the race. Now, with only 14 seconds left to make sure your car is all set up and ready to race, there might be a quick sudden scramble of people thinking, oh no, I need to put on You to put on wets. I mean, the track is green, so realistically, they've got to start on slicks. It looks like most cars are going to be starting on slicks. Yeah, our pole and second place cars are starting on slicks. You can see that yellow banding on the side of the tires as they pull away. It's a good sign that they're on slicks. I mean, I can't imagine anyone's going to try and gamble it if they've got 30 minutes until rain. That would just be absolute tyre murder. So the chat is lighting up. I only feel it is right to get them on the tracks. Our car number 13, unlucky for some, but hopefully lucky this evening for Siopis. The Hella Sim esports car. There's a wicked looking livery on that car actually, just quite simple, but a nice emblem on the door. Oh, well, there we go, there's the nice side of it. Oh, it's a bit of a plain side and then a very, very busy side. That's brilliant looking livery. Sort of with some sort of digital camo sort of design up the side of it. Very smart, we like that a lot. We like that a lot in the commentary box. There is no official award, as I would say, for the best livery, but you know, I always try and do my best to keep a little bit of an eye on some liveries and see what I think is you know, is up to scratch, shall we say? We're getting another shout out here for Bedorus. Let's just see if we can spot them on the grid. I'm sure in a minute someone's going to yell at me and tell me exactly where they are. Oh, there we go, Bedorus. Yeah, all the way up in 8th place. Another car getting a big shout out here this evening. So, cars beginning to stack up now, getting themselves ready for that main run to the line. We're going to try and go on helicam to try and get a bit of an idea of what's going on. Hopefully there won't be too many incidents. We'll keep an eye on this front pack as we round these final corners. So again, teammates at the front. These two can work together, be defensive through turn one, make sure no one can take away those positions. So McLaren front row, followed by a Ferrari. Then we got one of the only AMGs here this evening, the AMG Mercedes. But this is the final run to the line, the second round here at Zandvoort. They are waiting on the green light, and it should be go, go, go in just a moment. Timing line coming up, and away they go. And it's a really good start for Van Sand, pulling away. The two McLarens actually really well off the line down towards turn one. We're going to stick on the helicam for the moment. They both dive towards the inside line. A little bit of squabbling going on for third place, but no real position changes. It looks like everyone got through turn one cleanly. Yes, they did. Fantastic stuff to see. Keep a little bit of an eye on this front pack for the moment on the helicam. Everyone holding it together. It looks like everyone's made it through turns 2, and this is turn 3. This is where there might be a little bit of bunching, but hopefully everyone holds it together. Van Sand already starting to pull away from the pack. Timing ball goes wild for the first time, as it always does, but no signs of yellow flags yet. So fantastic. Everyone has made it through sector 1 cleanly, and it is an absolute train of cars going forward. Have a little bit of a jump back further and get an idea of just how tight it all is. This is back with Kachowski, car number 47, running in 11th place, so just outside the top 10, chasing after Fernandez in that BMW. You can see just how close everyone is as they are now firing down towards the chicane. Not the, the chicane, sorry. My brain completely broke down for a moment. Difficult bit of the circuit. Oh, when there's a mistake from one of the McLarens. Off they go. Who was that? Oh, and I do believe it was fan favourite Bedorus. And they have dropped down a fair old way, and they're now battling. I believe that is side by side with Door now, so that would put them around sort of 15th position. We'll have to wait for the timing screen to sort itself out and see whereabouts they actually come. Yeah, timing board going down, so they are now running in 16th place according to the timing board. But everybody survived lap 1. Fantastic to see. Oh, looking like maybe that is a little bit unsettled, that McLaren. Oh, a little bit of getting together there in turn 1 as well for Vodoris. Nothing intentional, nothing too bad. I don't think we'll see any sort of deliveries or comeback for that. But this pack right now, very, very close together. Oh, car number 91 is in the pits. So what's gone on there? Whether they're going for a very early pit stop, I wonder if maybe they accidentally started on wets. But yeah, car number 919 already into the pits. We're going to keep a little eye on this battle actually, because these guys were already absolutely elbows out and going for it. And a couple of cars haven't actually really been able to put in a fast lap yet. I think they're still bunching up wildly. In fact, let's go back a little bit more. Let's see where we can look. Let's go into the beginning of the 30s. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Actually, let's go on with Luke Aziz, who actually managed to set the fastest lap of the race. Again, he's out there in his nice, bright, white Porsche. We saw it last season. We're seeing it again this time round. Great looking car, great driver. And that 991. Ooh, I think maybe a little bit defensive there into the chicane. Just having to close the nose off of Nielsen. Making sure he didn't leave it open. Oh, we had a car off there. Car number 86 is off at the chicane. Where were they running? I think they were reasonably high up. Try and find them in the mass of cars that we have out there. I'm sure it was car number 86. Yes, it was. And they're now running dead last, it would seem. For some reason, car number 86 is not actually showing up on my timing screen, which is a bit obscure. I'm not sure why. Ah, there we go. Oh, it's Vodoris again. What happened to Vodoris? We're going to go back. Oh, we didn't quite go back far enough, but they were off again at the chicane. 2 laps in a row. Vodoris had problems. I think what we'll do is we'll avoid putting them on screen for a little minute or two, just because I think the commentator's curse is maybe starting to take its effect quite early in this race. So back on board with our leader at the moment. We'll wait for the 30-second timer to sort itself out. It should be back on the live timing pretty soon. To see them jump forward 30 seconds around the track any moment. There it is, and the timing boards are back. So Van Sant now nearly broken a second away from his teammate. But Zerbin and Benjamin King have not dropped off the back of Vorognolo. His car's still very much under attack. So dropping back a little bit. Jacob Blizzard, let's have a little look at this battle. Another one of these white on red McLarens. I'm not sure the timing screen really knows what's going on, because he's coming up as running in 12th place, but actually, and 13th place, but actually he's 11th place. So I'm not sure what's going on with the timing screens now. Yeah, Van Sant has managed to now set the fastest lap of the race. And Zerbin has now set the fastest lap of the race this time round. So people still chopping and changing. See a shout out in the chat here for Leighton Austin. Let's have a quick jump on with him in that number 53 West Competition Racing. Lovely Ferrari. A car I haven't actually driven yet, so definitely one I need to try out. Haven't tried out many of the new cars. Probably ought to give them a go rather than just sticking with what I know. But broken away from these closest rivals a little bit. Nice bit of clean air here. Oh, car number 1 into the pits as well. Drop back a little bit. Let's have a look at Fernandez in that BMW. Winning Rush GP is the name of the team. Lovely livery, almost Golf-esque colorations, that orange and blue. Being hustled on by car number 47 of Kajowski. Are we going to see a little move here? The Ferrari looks like it's trying to get a little bit of an overlap. It's going to try and go around the outside, or is he going to dive back to the inside here in the braking zone? No, sticks behind. A lot of drivers here as well, still getting used to the new BOP. Obviously this custom balanced performance, running ballast to make sure the cars are all as equal as they possibly can be. Sometimes the in-game the balance of performance can be a little bit wrong. We'll say that from time to time. But obviously, you know, huge game, and the developers can't always be sort of daily making updates, whereas we are doing a sort of a live and changing balance of performance to make sure everything is as equal as possible for as long as possible. I'm trying to go around the outside now. Possibly not going to work. Lost a little bit of momentum actually there to Carnival 47. And it's not what they would have wanted. They are now going to be in the clutches of Jacob Blizzard. Oh no, immediately back on the attack. Got right onto the back of Fernandez. But as we saw last night, lots of cars getting stuck. Nowhere easy to overtake here. Right, going to drop back a little bit further. Oh, and I think that was just the wrong time to jump back. Let's see how that built. That was, I believe that was Christian Renner. Is that our Christian? It might be, actually. Car number 19. Already having a lot of damage to the front of the car going into turns 1. Leaves enough room on the inside. Just enough. What happens here as we come into basically turn 4, turn 3? Bunching of the cars, gets clipped in the back, can't get the car stopped on the grass. Not a lot they could do there. That is Christian Ranieri. Yeah, not a lot they could really do. It sort of touched, bumped onto the grass on the brakes, but there was absolutely no chance of being able to stop the car there, and sadly did collect car number 24 as well. Luckily, not too much time lost for anyone in particular. It was kind of just a bit of a net loss for everyone. Oh, little moves going on here. Car number 164. This is Florent versus Kukovic. Ferrari versus Porsche. Two very, very different cars. But two very, very similar lap times. Absolutely flying around at the moment. Interesting to see what the Porsche is like on this pit straight. Can it hold on to the back of the Ferrari? We have seen that the Aston Martin, a little bit slower in the twisties, but has got a monstrous amount of top speed. We saw at Kota last week, or at least we did in Tier 1, where it was able to pull 1 or 2 car lengths easily every single time. It's looking like through Sector 1, Florent does have the slight advantage over the Porsche. Just notice 4 Porsches all in a row chasing after the back of this Ferrari. Oh, so that rain that was meant to be coming in 30 minutes has just disappeared from the weather screen. So a bit of changing weather still. So we're going to go back further now. Let's have a look at Stuart McLeod. Currently running in 35th place. Being hustled on by Vodoras. We saw Vodoras obviously have some issues earlier on. Still pushing back. Actually, I think Vodoras is having to go ever so slightly defensive at this point. Oh, I think he is. Let's have a jump back actually with Vodoras, because that looks like there's a little bit of a battle heating up. This is our Lavi as well. That KW ADI racing car. And I wonder if we're going to see this track stay dry and maybe actually go. There we go, it's just gone fast. Actually, as I was saying it goes fast. So, well, we may be going to see it go to optimum. We might do if it continues on. Track temp is up to 24 degrees. Oh, bit of a mistake there from car number 189. A little bit unsettled. Let's have a little bit of a junk on. Oh, here we go. Nathaniel Shirley right under the attack of Yorkie. Let's have a look. Can we see over the rear wing of this car? Yes, we can. Over the rear wing of this Beech Dean AMR Aston Martin. Looking back, and that thunderous great front end of Matt York's car number 65 Bentley. It's been a little while since we've seen one of these Bentleys here in AOR. It's really been a bit of a time since anyone's seen them online racing. They've sort of dropped into obscurity, nearly almost as bad as the old V12 Aston Martin. But no, luckily, thanks to this new balance of performance, the Bentley is back, and Yorkie is back after a couple of seasons away, actually. And obviously hoping to try and improve upon last week. He was on the podium last week, but not able to get there so far. 19th place, but a lot of race left to go. Just over 10 minutes of the race done, another 48 at least to go. And it's fantastic to see that Bentley. I'm so pleased to see it back. It's such a cool car. In fact, you know, just for my own self-interest, let's see. There we go. There's an onboard. stick with him actually as he comes round the final turn. Sawing at the wheel, trying to keep it all together, flying down towards turn 1. If anything, that Aston is possibly still a little bit quicker actually. Oh, short shifting there, trying to get the power down. Absolutely fantastic. I say some cars have had ballast added, some have almost had ballast taken off of them. So if you're used to driving one of the cars that's probably a bit heavy and not feeling so great, like the Bentley, it probably feels like a new beast having a load of time taken off of it. Right, let's have a little bit of a look back near the front again, as I think things are starting to hot up a little bit for second place. Verignola 28, car number 28. So for that Thomas Eng Sim Racing is now definitely being hustled on by Verbin. Sort of snapping at the heels, and actually, to be fair, looking back a little bit, here we go. There's been a change of position. Benjamin King has lost out to Kazalukas. Definitely been a change of position back there. Oh, and car number 164 is off. What was car number 164? Let's see if we can find them on the timing screen. That was Florence. Oh, they've just jumped to the pits. They may have actually... Right, Florent, what happened here? We've gone back 30 seconds. Oh, gets into the back of car number 919 and is then collected as he spins across the circuit. That was a big old incident. And sadly for Florent, from what we saw there on that very brief moment, it looked like that was pretty much self-inflicted. It looked like it was a case of outbrake themselves and just caught the back of the car in front. Not what they would have wanted whatsoever. Right, who is out here? Who is fighting hard? Who is close? So yeah, this Kachowski versus Fernandez battle, this is inside the top 10, is still very much raging on. Pigamy, yes, there is a website. Yes, you should be able to go to Pitwall Timing. There should be a link in the description for that one. But yes, Pitwall, you can see all the live timings as they are coming on into the server. They should all be appearing there, as long as it's all working. I will just double check. Yes, it is all still there. But yeah, link should be below us in the description for this stream. I think there's actually the video will actually be playing there as well, so you'll be able to see the live timing and the video there all at the same time. Not sure if it's as big. Oh, hello, the rain is back. 10 minutes time, we're going to see a little bit of a splash of rain. Looks like it might only be a little bit of a splash as well, so it'd be interesting to see who decides to stay on dries and who decides to go over to slicks. I think probably the smart move is going to be staying on the slicks. Oh, car number 51 we saw with a yellow flag. Round number 51, that is Bart Raven. Going to go back 30 seconds, see if we can catch what happened. So no one too close. If it's anything, it's probably going to be self-inflicted, or it's going to be a big... Oh, yeah, too much sausage curb, does rotate, isn't able to get the car stopped, and gets collected by the McLaren closely following behind. Really bad place to spin there in the chicane. Not a great deal that you can do, apart from anchor the brakes up and hold on for dear life at that point. And if you're trying to avoid it, I mean, to be honest, you're probably already flat out on the brakes and trying to get the car stopped, so there's not always a great deal that you can do. Once you're already fully committed to stopping by a certain point and suddenly there's a car in the way, then not a lot you can do, sadly. Second place battle still rages on. Zerbin really, really close to the back. This car number 28 of Varignola. I still love the way that the Ferrari looks like it's got a little drinking straw hanging out the top of it. I don't really understand why, but it does. I still really want someone to 3D print a cup for me that is that shape with a little straw coming out the top. It doesn't need to be painted. It's fine. I'll find a way. But I can't be the only person that sees that as a drinking straw hanging out the top of that car. Here we go. Give Zerbin's drinking straw a little bit of time on the stream. Right, Moberg is having a nice little battle. That's car number 7 versus the car 917 of DOR or Door. And again, it's two British examples of GT3 cars. The now retired Bentley versus the very much current McLaren. Really glossed black there on the McLaren, and then Door, that livery. Almost like a Union Jack hanging off the car. This battle at the front still raging on. Barrignola versus Serbin. Again, down towards turn 1. Are we going to see anything here? I'm not sure that it's going to be close enough to make a move into turn 1. It could be a very, very late dive. Possibly not. No. Sticks behind Barrignola for now. Jacob Blizzard getting himself involved in a nice tight battle again. Number 907 currently running in 9th place, so just inside the top 10, but he's sandwiched in by two very, very quick cars. Just having a little look at the timing, see if we have anyone else that's really, really close. To be fair, this battle here for 15th place, so all the way down in 15th place, there is not half a second between these cars. They are absolutely flat out. So leading this little battle pack is technically is James Cowley, then followed by Galen, then Brugnara, Einman, Brunner. Lovely little battle. Oh, and actually, yeah, look, there's the Beechstein Aston looking to the outside. And then they've got Shirley all the way down to Matt York in 20th place. I think actually Cosford as well now on the back of this pack. So this little pack, sort of right slap bang in the middle of the field, really is putting in some work. I got the helicam to get you an idea of how many cars are involved. Oh, it looked like Matt York went a bit deep there, and yes he did. Over the gravel, he's going to lose one position. Very, very lucky not to lose more there. That was a bit of a lucky recovery. A bit of a breather there for Shirley and that Beechstein Aston Martin. After a bit of squabbling, they all spread out slightly, but I imagine it's going to close right up again as they come down towards turn 1. So sticking on the helicam for a minute or two, you can actually see now the cars have spread out over about half the lap. So not quite into the point where back markers are going to be taking effect on the leading pack, but yeah, definitely by the end of this race, I think we're going to start seeing back markers coming into it. Cowley under attack now from Guerin. Are we going to see a possible move here? He is absolutely on the bumper. There's nothing between these two. I'm sure that Lamborghini is ingesting only exhaust fumes. There can be no clean air on the front of that car whatsoever. Again, though, it's just the thing with Zandvoort. You can be a bit quicker through a sector, but it isn't necessarily quicker to come offline and go for the overtake. You just have to stick with it. And now Guerin actually under attack from behind. Brugnara trying to go around the outside in the Porsche. Can he make it work? I'm not sure. Unsettles the car, ends up on the gravel and ends up actually losing a position. Goes back one spot. It might actually be two here. There's a move up the inside in the braking zone. Ferrari number 12 goes through. Not enough room really left, but he was definitely there. Again, not really enough for sort of any kind of penalty or any kind of review, but this mid-pack getting a little bit scrappy. So Brugnara, after trying to take away one position, actually ends up losing two. He's now in the clutches of Brunner. And we're seeing this nice little squabble going on in front of them as well, that James Cowley battle. going on. Are we seeing the Beach Dean having a little bit of a go as well? I think we are. I'd say I love that livery. I mean, it doesn't help. I'm a big fan of British GT as well. So obviously with that window banner, you know, it gets points, as it were. But this little battle pack, absolutely great. And all the while, everyone across the field is battling very hard. Quick jump on here, kind of before. Our actual leader is firing away, 2.8 seconds ahead. And then you've got the very close cars of Baracnalo and Zerbin. Those two absolutely squabbling and going for it constantly. But they've managed to break away themselves by 2 seconds away from 4th place. So, Kaz Lucas. But this little battle here, little move up the inside, car number 4, trying to go around the car number 9. That's Mr. Jones versus Syme. Doesn't get it done. Possibly going to be a switchback here, though. Not sure they're going to be able to do it. No. Everyone's sticking to it. And Ziege leading this little pack for the moment. Oh, and here we are. Here is the rain. This is where madness might ensue. So our leader is out, and it looks like the rain is going to increase over the next 10 minutes. So our leader is just starting another lap. They are still on the dry tyres, have not pitted. No one has pitted yet. With about 25 minutes of the race complete, no pits. I think everyone's has been waiting to see what the weather did. But no one's done a planned pit, I would say. I don't think people at the back necessarily did. Oh no, to be fair, a few of them. Ranieri, Raven, Zanabini, they have all actually completed their mandatory pit stops. But be interesting to see how that goes for everybody. But right, this is going to be the thing to keep an eye on as the rain comes in. People already way down on their lap times. People dropping already a second off their lap. Oh, and we see the leader nearly go deep into the chicane. This battle for second place is really going to be heating up. This, if Zerbin is super, super brave, might be able to make some kind of move. The track's already gone over to Greasy. So I don't think it'll be long till it's damp. I'd say at the moment, I would say that probably fine. The slick tyre is still the optimum tyre. It'll be once it goes to damp and wet that it will make sense. But you've got to be careful. You don't want to lose too much time by trying to commit to the dry tyre and staying out that little bit longer than everyone else. Number 919 is still sat in the pits actually as we speak. We're going to jump on board with Leighton Austin here in the West Competition Racing car number 53 Ferrari. This little battle pack still holding together nice and close. It's looking like Moberg is having a bit of a close battle as well. Again, the timing screen does ebb and flow with how they go around the circuit. Oh, a bit deep there from the Bentley of Door. Maybe that was a case of trying to use its sort of outright speed to its advantage. Roberton Larvi still squabbling away here. Done in 32nd place. Just starting the lap as well. That rain still coming down. The track temp has decreased by 1 already. Okay, but possibly only going to be sort of 10 minutes rain. Might be worth trying to stay out on the dries. It really depends how long the rain keeps coming. You don't want to have to pit twice. That'd be an absolute disaster if you decide to pit and then suddenly you come back out again and the rain goes away and then you're suddenly having to go back onto dries again. We're on board with Iman. Car number 27. Fighting off Geirin at the moment. See the rain pouring down at this time. It's some very, very close stuff here. It just seems like possibly going to see. Oh, here we go. Who's coming to the pits? Our leader has come into the pits already. Leader into the pits. So his teammate has inherited the lead, but Zerbin is right on the back of him, and it looks like Barrichello is starting to struggle now with the McLaren. The Ferrari look a little bit more planted. So a pretty early pit. I'd be very surprised, though, if we see Van Sant go on to anything other than gotta stay on dry, surely. Gotta be staying on dries. Where is Van Sant going to be coming out? Van Sant is now all the way down in... Ooh, going down the board pretty quickly. It's going to be a struggle to get him on the screen. Here he is. Is it possible to see what colour tyre bands? It's when they're going really fast, it's sometimes a bit difficult to see. It'll be a bit of a difficult one. Obviously, did it catch them when they came out the pits when they're going slow, and you actually get a better image of the tyre wall. I'd like to think they're going to stay on dries and just try and battle it out. Really better see by the way the car moves around, but already looking like a very, very quick driver pushing forward. Surely they haven't gone for wets. Surely that's not the gamble they've gone for. Oh, there we go. Second place. Barrichello's come into the pits. So Zerbin now takes over the lead. So for the first time, hasn't been staring at the back of that pair of McLarens. Oh, incident there for car number 26. See if we can get them up as quickly as possible. Car number 26 as the car jumps down. That was Stuart McLeod. What happened there? That looked like it was turn 1. Oh, so this is actually leaving the pits. What happened here then? Oh, leaves the pits and then immediately comes to a stop. And I think, was that a mistake? Possibly. Something's going on. Maybe that's a hardware issue. But that car has been sat at the end of the pits for quite a long time. Oh no, that was the rejoin. That was the rejoin. Okay, so they were waiting for the right time to rejoin the circuit. Fair enough. So McLeod, that would be the yellow flag there, was waiting. Just giving everyone a bit of a chance. That's really, really going to hurt the lap, the race time. That was a lot of time left. I understand there's some logic behind it, staying out the way, not wanting to sort of cause too many issues. Oh, very sideways McLaren in the background there. It was kind of a 33. And that is Kaz Lucas. So a very, very sideways car. Looking like the Ferrari's getting a bit skittish as well, but the Ferrari is staying out. Ah, there we go. This is, we wondered about this yesterday actually. In the chat we got Cryptic TMG and was saying about the fact that the engine turned off on the straight and it lost me 20 seconds. We saw something happen there and we wondered what it was. We saw you going very slowly, so there we go. We now know that it turned off the engine. And I think you have to come to a complete stop to actually restart the engine. Okay, so just being asked as well what kind of lap times people are doing now that cars have pitted. So our leading pitted car, let's see if we can jump one of them up there, it would be Van Sant. So they're currently, they haven't done a flyer yet. So we'll find out in just a second actually what their sort of lap is. They're doing 144s now in comparison to the 136s that we were seeing in the dry. Oh, and Shirley's picked up a stop, go 30 penalty. That will be speeding in the pit lane. Nothing that can be done about that as well. That's an in-game created penalty. Easily done. You've got to make sure you get down to speed before you get to the pit board, and you've got to make sure you pass the pit board again on the exit before you change gear and try and flow off. Right, apparently there is no pitbull link in the YouTube description. Okay, not sure why. Ooh, Robert Arlavi going flying off the circuit. Twice they've come off. Managed to recover quite quickly, but off they go. I will see if we can get someone to pop that description, pop that in the chat for you. Just trying a little bit behind the scenes to see if we can get that up and running, as it should be a pit wall link there. But yeah, not able to get that up personally myself at the moment due to running the cameras little bits and pieces. So the track is down to 23 degrees, so we only lost 1 degree so far. It's going to stop raining again in about 10 minutes or so. But currently the track is damp. Are we going to see it go fully wet? I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a little bit of a look and see how Zerbin is getting on. He is doing 144s, and that's going to be on dry tyres still, so doing 144s. And compared to Van Sand, who was our first driver to come into the pits, he's doing 141s and still improving. But the main thing is, if Van Sand is on wet, well, actually, literally, it's coming up in chat now, actually, to be fair. Krypton again saying about it, that if Van Sand is on wets, then Zerbin has won. Yeah, I do think that would be a huge tactical error to go over to wets. Knowing that it's going to dry up again, you've got such a massive amount of the race left, you would have to pit and get new slicks again. And obviously, 2 pit stops, that's absolutely throwing the race away. It's a huge amount of time. It's not just the time it's spent changing the tyres, it's the slowing down, going in and coming back out again. It's massive amounts of time. Track position changes. You can go from having a lovely position on track to suddenly being surrounded by cars. Someone who's having a lovely time at the moment, though, is Zerbin, who we're on board with at the moment. Currently our leading driver. Hasn't pitted yet, though. Another car out here, I think struggling quite a lot with the wet though, is Kuz Lucas, driving for 123 team name. As you can see there, those cars that pitted earlier now starting to climb their way back up through. Vidoris coming into the pits here. It's going to be their mandatory stop. Oh, and I think stopped a little bit short of their pit box there. They'll be disappointed with that. So jumping on with a little battle. This is currently the battle for 5th place. Blizzard, Brugnara and Moberg all squabbling out. 3 mid-engine cars all desperately scrabbling around in the rain. Quite interesting what people were saying about the Lamborghini and the fact that you pretty much have to run nearly 0 traction control in the dry to make this car fast. So, I mean, that's what the Tier 1 guys were saying. Whether or not the Tier 2 guys are running maybe a little bit, but I imagine here this evening in the wet, surely they've got to be running a little bit of a... at least just a small amount of traction control, surely. Otherwise they must have absolutely feather-light feet when it comes to applying the throttle. Van Sand has set the fastest lap of the second half of the race with a 1:41.3, and that's 3 seconds a lap quicker than Zerbin at the moment. So we're going to wait and see what happens, but Van Sand is our leading pitted driver and was the leading car when he came into the pits. So he might be making sort of, you know, hay while the sun shines now, but it's really going to depend on what sort of happens around him. I'm trying to let this Barry Canolo as well. What kind of times are they doing? 1:42s. And then who else is pitted? You've got Benjamin King doing 1:43s. Hard to tell. Hard to tell which direction this is going tyres-wise. I'd like to think they haven't made that mistake on the tyres, and if he is in fact, on dries. One, amazing times he's putting on a set of dry tyres. If not... So back on board with Zerbin. Car number 88. There we go. Moberg coming into the pits as well. More cars coming in. Lima coming into the pits as well now. So we've got, let's have a little jump on board with this little battle that's going on with this is Cody Cosford in the R Motorsport. And this is actually something we haven't seen in a little while. It's Aston Martin versus Aston Martin. Flying through. What are we going to possibly see on the brakes here? Nothing there. Both these drivers have completed their mandatory stops. No, they haven't. No, I do apologise. Not at all. These drivers have not done their mandatory stops. So they're still on the original tyres. 22 minutes left of the race. Track is still damp. Hasn't gone wet yet. I imagine a lot of these drivers are trying to hold on to the absolute last moment in the hopes that it will go dry. And then they can bang a set of fresh tyres on and push, push, push. There does come a point where you're losing more time than you're gaining by staying out there. Let's see what Zerbin's lap time was. So his last lap was a 1:43. And again, if we put that in comparison to Van Sand, he did a 1:40, so that's another 3 seconds. And it does look like the rain has now stopped. Might be able to see on there is one camera I might be able to use, we might be able to see it a little bit easier. Van Sand, if this camera works for it. No, it doesn't work on this car. Okay, there is a camera that can, that is a nice one that I can see. I'm not going to go into free cam to try and see the tyres. We like to try and at least stick to sort of the more realistic broadcast cameras rather than the floaty alongside the car cameras. So we'll all be in the dark together on this. But the rain has now stopped. The track temp is beginning to slowly increase. Surely Zerbin has to think about coming into the pits at this point. Coming around the penultimate turn, I mean, he's realistically hemorrhaging time. He's 6 seconds down on his best lap time. I think actually that is his wheel colour. That the yellow markings that we were looking at, I'm pretty sure that is just the rim. Like you can in game you can paint it. I mean, this car I'll be looking at now, there is no... Oh, I don't know, actually, maybe there is yellow on the side of the tyres. Maybe it's just all my eyes. I really hope he's not on wets. Yeah, to be fair, not seeing any kind of line. Oh! Yeah, Van Zandt coming back into the pits. What was going on here? Van Zandt back into the pits. Absolutely devastating. Obviously hoping it was going to continue to rain. Zerbin is staying out still, even on the original set of tyres. I mean, he is aware he needs to pit at some point, surely. Oh, that was a big mistake. That was a big mistake by them. And actually, what about his teammate, Varignolo, as well? Into the pit. So those two, whether or not that was kind of a case of trying to do a short-term gain, I'm not sure, but it might work out to be an absolute disastrous move. They were much faster, to be fair, than Zerbin, but that's a massive amount of time lost. I can't see that strategy moving. And yeah, and the chat sort of going absolutely wild with this now. And yeah, we're pretty much all thinking the same, that they've thrown away a 1-2 for their team here at Zandvoort. That would be devastating for them. And Zerbin's still staying out like a man possessed. Oh, nice little battle going on here in the mid-pack. Well, I say mid-pack, just inside the top 10 actually. It's such a large grid this evening that normal go-tos have changed. Iman and Cosford just behind as well. Fair actually, yeah, it is Cosford, isn't it? Yes. And which other Aston Martin is that? I'm only showing one Aston Martin in this battle. So there's one of those cars that's definitely out of position. I think that's car number 51. Yeah, car number 51 is out of position. At this point, surely Zerban has got to pit. I'm seeing in the chat people saying about, you know, sort of like seeing if he can preserve the tyres for the last 10 minutes. I mean, yeah, to be fair, trying to get those temperatures right. I think that's a kind of a case of chat sort of saying about getting the tyre temperatures right there. It's a very, very big part of ACC is getting your tyre pressures right. They did do a massive remodel of the game. So if you used to play this game and didn't enjoy it that much, I would really recommend coming back to it now that there's been a huge update to how the tyre physics work. Definitely made a huge difference. So whereabouts were the original leaders come out? Oh, 26th place down there for Van Sant. That's absolutely devastating. And 27th place for his teammate Barrignola. That's just absolutely gone out the window, hasn't it? I mean, they'll be absolutely disappointed with that. Zerbin with what appears to have been the best play of the day. The track already up to greasy. So there we go. Because Lucas, who was running in second place, has now come into the pits. There's going to be a couple of these guys that are going to gain massive advantages, and they could really, really gain a fair few positions. And sorry everyone at home, it's been a little while since we've had that. It's the old ACC shotgun. Oh, Jonathan Clifford. Jonathan Clifford off. What's happened here? So this is coming on. This is obviously the pit straight coming down towards turn 1. There's no one that close to him. I'm really hoping that even though I've gone back on the replay, it's not going to do the annoying bang again. Oh, just gets collected in the rear there by car number 26, it looks like. What was car number 26? Waiting. Clifford just waits off the track. Finally gets the car going again. What was? Oh, that is Stuart McLeod, who was very much not racing for position there, down in 32nd place. So not at all what they would have wanted. Zerbin currently still out. Kachowski now running in second place. Oh, and Gehring gets himself a drive-through penalty. That is presumably going to be for track limits abuses. Leighton Austin now currently running in third position. DOR in fourth. Fifth place is James Cowley. Obviously, these drivers yet to have pitted. And there we go, Zerbin into the pits. This is going to be the one to keep an eye on. Where is Zerbin going to come out in comparison to everyone else? So our leading pitted driver is Ben King. So Benjamin King. Still all the way back in, that's sector 2, just coming into sector 3 now. So we're going to stick on board with Benjamin King and see how he sort of holds up against Zerbin. Obviously he was inside the top 5. So I'm going to presume that Zerbin is going to get away and not have a problem. That's car number 88, you can see it there. I think it's still stationary in the pits at the moment. Haven't seen the pit light go out for them. So Zerbin is now still not on the road, I don't think. Where is Zerbin? Is Zerbin moving? Surely that car's going. Yes, it is. Right, so Zerbin is out on track, but it's possibly going to get overtaken almost immediately by car number 18. It's going to be a real case of who's got their tyres switched on and how brave is Zerbin feeling. Benjamin King immediately on the back of him. thundering great Mercedes with those evil red eyes on the front. So I'm waiting to see what the timing board is doing here. There we go. So now a little bit of a wiggle round. So at the moment it is now Zerbin, King and Kazlukas, our top 3 pitted drivers. And as we saw earlier on, the plan for Van Sand just did not go to plan today, and Barrichello as well. They obviously thought it was going to stay wet for the rest of the race. It hasn't. It's already greasy again, so it's definitely optimum for a slick tyre. So Austin coming into the pits, Dorr coming into the pits, Clifford, Matt York all going in. So I think the only driver that is not going to have pitted is going to be Luca Zige. We'll jump on board with him for a minute as he rounds the final corner, because I think he's probably going to take a provisional pole position as he comes into the pits himself. No, staying out there that little bit longer. There you go. You can see the leaders behind him though. Also the I say leaders, the pitted leaders. So everyone's spread out a little bit. Iman actually now being chased down by Van Sand. Ooh, a little bit unsettled there from Iman. I think James Cowley as well starting to have a nice little squabble. Possibly not. I thought Mr. Jones was right on the back of him. Oh, actually, yeah, that car number 9 really started to catch up towards the end of Sector 1. Seeing that thundering through the S's. So just over 11 minutes left of the race. All but one car has completed their pit stops. Luca Zige out there in the all-white Porsche, deciding to go as long as possible, presumably trying to chase the perfect tyre pressure at the end. But those tyres have done just shy of 50 minutes of racing now, so they'll be starting to show their age a little bit. Jacob Blizzard. Oh, there you go. Zige into the pits now. This is Jacob Blizzard racing for new CRF. Car number 907. It was a little bit of a flash of the lights from the car behind there. There's Brugnara. You're allowed to flash a little bit, not excessively, but there's nothing wrong with a little bit of a little flash just to say I'm here. Unsettle the car in front, although I very much doubt these guys are going to be unsettled by flash tactics. They've all been here before. They have done this many times. The Tier 2 boys, they might not be Tier 1, but Tier 2 is only a whisker behind. Osford and Iman still having a nice little battle here. Oh, to be fair, Iman really under attack. And oh yes, actually ends up going wide, nearly leaves the door open on the inside, not quite. Van Sand looks to try and take advantage, but isn't able to, but is now all over the back of that black McLaren. Big spit of flames out the back of Van Sand as he comes into the braking zone there. I imagine there's a little bit of disappointment there for the Thomas Eng racing team. And Van Sand. So that just not gone the right way. And Barrichello actually has lost another position there to Matt York as well. So what could have been a fairy tale 1-2 start, 1-2 finish, become a bit of one to forget, really. Sort of cars all stacked up here. The main battle here. Move up the inside. The Porsche versus Porsche. Leaves just enough room. Are they going to be enough? Not quite. Still side by side through turn 1. Turn 2. Can they hold it together? Yes, they can. Goes up the inside. Gets it done. Through they go. Brugnara finally able to make a move and gets past car number 381 and Kukovic. And now side by side behind these two as well. This is James Cowley being overtaken. It's Mr. Jones, I believe, just gone through. Not getting up too easily. He's not going to roll over. He is still very much on the attack. And see what those tyres are looking like. There's definitely some yellow banding there. Everyone here has all got the yellow banding, so they're all on dries. Or slicks, sorry. Oh, big move to the inside there. Car number 426, and that is Nielsen. Still got the wiper going in that car, so I'm not really sure as to why. There's definitely no rain falling. Oh, still a little flick of yellow flag, but just a very, very brief moment. Just over 7.5 minutes left of the race to go, and all of these guys absolutely going at it. Oh, and actually it's really starting to look like the Porsche is starting to lose out positions. There's Kukovic having some real problems there, kind of a 381. Sort of hammering positions. Let's see if we can see those tyre walls. He looks, I think, possibly running wets as well. Is Kukovic. Would explain the sudden absolute loss of speed. Yes, I think he's running wet. It was a short-term game, but sadly a long-term loss. So becoming a bit of a bottleneck himself at this moment. So on board with Kuchowski. Running in 5th place, chasing after the back of Moberg. Does look like he's on a bit of an improvement. Last lap was quicker by 0.3. So just under 6 minutes left of the race. It's all coming down to this. Oh, big move to try and break the toe. You can't swerve again now though. He moved off the racing line, then back onto the racing line. So you can have one defensive move. And then obviously you're allowed to retake the racing line as well. Very, very aggressive move there from Moberg. Obviously desperately trying to break the toe and not allow anyone to come through. Car number 29 we saw go through earlier on and has really pulled away from some of his closest rivals, chasing up the back and now Fernandez. Was over a second quicker than Fernandez actually last time round. Let's see if we can have a little look at Fernandez and see what kind of tyres he's on. Wiper's still going. Definitely on dries though. He's definitely on slicks. We could see the yellow banding. It's not overly obvious. It's just almost looks like tyre shine on the outside walls. But yes, definitely on dries. That wiper's still going flat out. Obviously hasn't got it set up automatically. He's obviously got a button somewhere mapped on his steering wheel or in his cockpit. So the little squabble going on here. Battle for 4th place, Moberg versus Kuchowski, and then closely followed by Blizzard and Brugnara. So even off the podium, the battles are still absolutely going strong. And actually, to be fair, oh well, at the line it was saying they were incredibly close, but it's not looking so close. Benjamin King is not in trouble whatsoever. Oh, car number 14. Where's car number 14? That was Cosford. Oh, what happened there? We're jumping back. We'll jump on board. So this was 16th place. That is car number 27, I think, of Iman behind him. It is indeed. So this is down towards the hairpin. What happens here? Goes in. I think that was a bit of netcode issues because that car is all over the place. So I think that wasn't really necessarily anyone's fault, but a bit of an odd one there. There was definitely some sort of connection problem going on, possibly on Cosford's end. So I do hope that he's able to stabilise and complete the race, but that car doesn't look quite right anymore on the track. Oh, there we go. Fastest lap of the race suddenly has just been set by DOR in the Bentley of all things. Let's have a quick look. Here it is, the fastest lap so far of this half of the race, 1:36.177. Absolutely fantastic lap. And inside the top 10 as well. When was the last time, apart from last week, when was the last time you saw a Bentley inside the top 10 of high-end competitive esports? It's been a very, very long time, and it's absolutely fantastic to see it back, thundering along. It was actually the car I first used ever on ACC was the Bentley, only because it was one of the few right-hand drive cars. I think it might actually be the only right-hand drive car in the game, to be fair. Obviously, sadly, completely retired from real-life racing. Oh, here we go. Mr. Jones having a really good battle with Cowley. So Jones versus Cowley. I believe Jones has just about managed to hold on to it. But while those two were squabbling through turn one, along has come Nilsson. And what started off as a bit of a two-way battle has now become a three-way battle, and very quickly about to become a four-way. 1 minute and 50 seconds left of the race as well. We're coming towards sort of final, well, sort of penultimate laps, I would say, at this point. Whereabouts is our leader at the moment? Just coming into sector 3. So I think we've got... It's going to be... This is going to be the penultimate lap. So next lap will be final lap out. So the time is ticking down. Oh, a little bit of a touch there, I think. That definitely unsettled Cowley. These four absolutely neck and neck, pushing it all the way to the end of the race. Again, coming down towards the chicane. What are we going to see here? Under braking, are we going to see another incident? Hopefully not. No, everyone through cleanly. Oh, there's just nothing between these four. They are so close. So I believe that is our leader on the final lap. Yes, this is definitely going to be the final lap. 47 seconds left on the clock. Turbine just has to hold it together a little bit longer, just one more time round. Oh, there we go. And then a quick look is Leighton Austin. We'll jump him on there. That was at West Competition Racing car number 53. The green Ferrari just set the fastest lap of the race at 1:35.4. So time's rolling in again, getting faster and faster out there as the track has gone optimum. So anyone that chose to go on wets really just shows the scale of the mistake that was made. But this four-way battle, they're on their final lap. So there we go, the timer is at 0. So I'm going to jump on board with our actual leader. He's rounding the final turn and brings it home in style. Fantastic race there for Zerbin. And then here we go, Benjamin King coming home in second, closely followed by Kev Lucas. Those two really, really close by the end of the race, to be fair. Super close. Moba coming home, followed by Kaczowski. And then followed by Brugnara. What a big, big flash of the lights there from Leighton Austin. Obviously very pleased with that 7th place finish. Blizzard coming home in 4th. Dorr coming home in 9th. And Fernandez rounding out the top 10. Absolutely fantastic effort from all drivers involved. Really well done. Oh, and some of the back going absolutely flying off. Goodness gracious. was absolutely fantastic race. We've still got a few cars out there still coming home. Here we go. A few of them coming across the line. Last few cars making their way to the finish. Here we go. Actually, still a little, almost like a battle going on at this point. Oliver Brunier coming home up behind Robert Arlavi. Absolutely fantastic effort. There we go. Everyone coming home. And I believe that is pretty much it. A few more cars to come across the line. And there we go. Here is Psyopis, who we had great hopes for at the beginning of the race, but just did not go his way. And that is the end of the session there. Oh, goodness gracious. What an amazing race this has been. It has been absolutely fantastic. Let's save that replay. Make sure we've got it for later. And let's see if any of our podium feel like joining us. That would be really lovely if any of them decided they wanted to come and join us in the commentary booth. That would be wonderful. Not always the case. Sometimes you can't quite always get people to do it. But you never know. It'd be nice if they did. Can I get highlights to play? No, I can't. Never mind. Okie dokie. Let's see if anyone wants to come and join us in the pits. Hopefully, we will get a little bit of a chat from some of our drivers. In the meantime, let's jump into a slightly nicer looking screen rather than just this one. So who knows? Maybe we will get someone. We might not. It would be nice if we did, but I'm not sure we're going to. Takes a little bit of time sometimes for people to get brave and come and join us in the chat. But fingers crossed. We do have someone. Who have we got here? Fantastic. We have actually got someone. So hopefully better drag them in just a second. For whatever reason, it is not letting me choose what I want. Come on, let me choose the commentary box. Why won't you let me choose the commentary box? Do apologise for everyone at home. Just having a little bit of issues with old Discord. We love a bit of Discord issues, don't we? Okay, hopefully this should be working just absolutely fine. So let's drag someone in and see who this is. Good evening. Welcome to the commentary booth. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Ritus. Finished in P3.
Fantastic. Oh, so that was P3. Oh my god, my timing screen has all gone absolutely potty. 1 second. What has gone on here? Let's try and actually get something that makes some sense to everyone at home and some information. There we go. Timetables. That's what we wanted. Ah, there we go. Yeah, so you were in car number 33. I really hope I've been saying your name correctly. I've been saying your last name was Kazlukas.
No.
Ah,
Kazlauskas.
Kazlakas. Sorry, I do apologise. It's first time saying everyone's names, so it's hopefully we'll all get better through time. But yes, I do apologise. I've been referring to you as Kazlukas the entire stream, so sorry about that. But what an absolutely fantastic result for you this evening, coming home in 3rd place. Were you expecting to be so high up in the rankings?
Really no, because the mixed conditions and then 10 minutes of rain with the dry tires, it was kind of challenging. Staying out with the dry tires the entire time and then trying to stay on the track and keep up with the guys in front and not lose positions at the back. It was quite challenging. Took everything, sweating buckets.
Yeah, the drivers that did stay out on the drivers that stayed on those slick tires during the rain, they really did seem to be struggling. It wasn't just you, I say, around you as well. Everybody was slipping and sliding, and going deep into the chicane over and over again. But it actually did turn out that Van Sand and Varignola, the two teammates that qualified in first and second, they actually went over to wet tyres on their first pit stop. So they were flying for a little while, but then both of them had to do a second pit stop. So that really did immediately take those two out of concession. And then, so then you guys could come along. And so, it was... three drivers that I think you were qualified. Yeah, inside basically stayed in nearly the same order. Qualified in third, fourth, and fifth, and then you both came home in a first, second, and third. So absolutely fantastic. It does show just how much strategy can play. Were you running a mixed setup, or were you aiming more for a dry or a wet setup?
I couldn't decide, but I stuck to my qualification dry setup. I had a wet setup, but seeing that it's only going to be a half and half at the start, I just decided to go with the dry and hope for the best, just to survive the first moments. And then in the rain, it's quite hard to pass here, so just defend if anything comes bad.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it, isn't it? I know sort of pre-overhaul of the games, like the sort of physics engine, I know it used to be quite popular, but people would just bang wet tyres on a dry setup and just sort of tweak a few little bits and pieces. But how are you finding the current custom BOP, so the sort of the ballast system we're using? How are you finding the car? How is it faring?
It's a little bit more challenging with the McLaren because it's even without the BOP in the slow corners, it's kind of a nightmare of a car. You put the throttle down and the car just spins. So the BOP made it a little bit more tricky. Overall, I think it brought the entire field together. Some cars are definitely a little bit faster than others, like Aston. It's just you won't overtake it with the McLaren. The car pulls away. So, but overall, I think it's a positive when we go from McLaren absolutely dominating everything to having many manufacturers now around.
Yeah, it is nice to see sort of a mix. I mean, we got the Bentley back on track, which is that was
Yeah,
that
that's
was
crazy.
gone with the dinosaurs, and then we've got two of them here in Tier 2, which is lovely to see. But yeah, I think the BOP, I think the BOP isn't static either. I think if we start to notice certain cars are really dominating, then I believe that it's always open to be changed. I think drivers are being told to keep an eye on it, as things may change. But yeah, we did see last week, which sadly we didn't actually get to stream, but I did watch back a couple of the onboards of people's races, and obviously did get to see the Tier 1 race. The Aston Martin there in a straight line was just absolutely dominating everybody. It was amazing on that back straight how far it would pull away. But I think there was I think Jardier came in either second or third there. So obviously a very fast driver, but also a very, very fast car. And we saw it a fair few times this evening on the pit straight that no one was getting past the Astons. Not even the Bentley was getting past the Aston, and that always used to be the thing. The Bentley would sort of do awfully in the corners and then suddenly would fly away on any straight line bit of track.
It has crazy acceleration. Just waiting for the Kailami, I think that's the only track it's good at, Bentley. So it's gonna be even better now.
Yeah, so it'd be nice. It might be nice to see one on a. Well, I mean, we got one on a podium last week. If we can get another one on the podium, that'd be pretty fantastic. It would be nice to see all the brands across the week and across the weeks. Manage to get up there. I mean, we've had a Mercedes, we've had a Bentley, we've had Lamborghinis. I think we've had a Ferrari as well. Can't remember. It's all become a blur at this point. But yes,
Yeah.
pretty sure we've had nearly everything. But thank you ever so much for joining us in the commentary booth, and I hope you best of luck for next week as well. I say we're at Misano next week, and that's a 90-minute race, so a little bit longer. Be interesting to see how the McLaren does there at Misano. There's plenty of scary curbs for the McLaren to have a wobble on.
Yeah.
There. So, but yeah, best of luck, and thank you for joining us here this evening. Any final words?
No, not really.
Okay.
Hopefully everything goes fine.
Cool.
In the future, maybe hopefully I'll come here more often.
Yeah, I say always welcome. So and even if you're not inside the top three, everyone is always welcome in the commentary booth. So spread the word. Let people know that it's not a scary place to come to. I'm nice. I'm nice in here. But thank you ever so much for joining us, mate. And best of luck next time round.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right, so that is us all done here for Apex Online Racing. That was round 2 of the Sprint Cup Series. This was Tier 2 on Tuesdays. Join us again on Mondays. And that is for Tier 1. That is the big boys. That is me and Rage in the commentary booth. And then on Tuesdays, it is me on my lonesome here doing Tier 2. So do apologise if on Tuesdays my voice is a little bit gravelly, but from everyone here at Apex Online Racing, all across the community, thank you ever so much for joining us this evening, and we will see you again next week.
It's Noah's Ark 2x2 formation. Red change now, we go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action, it's go.
It's very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in. This has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill, they head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, putting that truck inside line. Yes, he did. Through he goes.